Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at Nvidia stock options analysis. So right off the chart you can see we have abnormality at $118 calls. Huge calls sitting exceptionally high at 118. Is that a possibility? Well, it's dwarfing, as you can see, all other puts and the calls. We'll still take a look at the puts because in the scale, yes, they look like nothing, right? $100 puts, $90 puts, they look minuscule. However, it's just because this candle is dwarfing, right? $118 calls, then 93,732 open interest sitting there. But we'll take a look at everything, and as we will go through this video, you will soon see why $118 calls may be just on the line, on the borderline here. It's just on the edge that it's just not fitting well, even if we take all the positive scenarios. But here's your spoiler. Can that happen? Let's take a look at in this video on all of that. Now, also, I want to mention that please check out this video on my channel that I did yesterday. That is Nvidia stock going below $100? I'm doing technical analysis that will give you a head start already into this options video. So check it out here on my channel if you want to get a jump start in this options video as well. But still, let's go high level on the technicals first, and then we'll jump into the options. I'll provide my opinion as well, what window of the range I do expect Nvidia to do this coming week. All right, now with that, please also note none of this is any financial advice. It's only for education purposes. All right, hit the like and subscribe guys as well, that really helps out. All right, so we are still in the downtrend, and if I turn on my indicator, and we are still plummeting, right? And this is where we broke the structure 122. And I also want to thank you all for, so many of you lately have joined my membership for these tools. I really appreciate guys your support, so thanks for that. Okay, so we lost 122. That was the breakout structure. We are still in the bearish structure over here. And then on the short volume side, you are already aware that, as I talked about, we have had so many short sellers piled up here. They are happy now for sure. And back then over there talked about as well, these short sellers will only be happy not by just $5 move when they can pull it down much lower to like $106 and so forth. So, well, they are happy now, I can tell you that. And so what do we make out of it, right? So now, as I said, technical video I have already done on my channel. Check that out. I just wanted to show you that we are still in the bearish structure, and even on lower time frame we are still in the bearish structure. Any possibility of upside would be if we, without even breaking 102 and 57 cents, we start to get above area of 106 again. But structure until then is not even confirming a rebound. But again, I talked about it in that technical video here. Check it out on my channel. All right, so coming back to options here, what I think may come to fruition, what may not. So let's mark some of the areas that I want to talk about. I did put 130 here on the range as well, but I don't think 130 is going to happen. So we will not be talking about 130. So 118 is where we, and this is that it's right at that our structural significant level as well, right? You can see behind that is my significant level as per marked by my indicator. And oh, this is where the flush zone is, supply zone is. I'm not sure why so many traders are betting calls. Maybe they were the cheapest, right? That's the only reason, and they thought, okay, that's the cheapest, closest call. But what they are not realizing is that these calls are also at the structural change, which Nvidia has no sign of showing me right now that it's willing to change that structure above 118. This is going to be a very steep hill to climb, all right, for the calls. But let's talk about all of that. So 118 I will be talking about, and let's take one above that as well. Let's say 120, and we can also put 125 if you like. Okay, 120, and just for reference, let's also put 125 calls. That's above this, guys. I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not even gonna go over and talk about that. So now let's also talk about, and I'll provide the range as well what type of calls may happen. But in my opinion, safest window, and then puts $190. We are seeing some spike, and then 80 and 83 as well. So let's put $100 puts, and which is very close to where the price is almost. And then we have, what was it, 90, yeah, and 80. And again, this is just, guys, where the big, these not big, but I should say these options traders are betting their money, right? And let me put down 80. It doesn't mean price is going to go these levels. It just means that where they're betting their money, the options traders. All right. Okay. So as I just showed you, structure is still technically to the downside, right? So how about we start off with $118? What is the average range that Nvidia is doing? Almost just a little bit above $7, right? So let's $7 is what we're gonna take it. All right. The price is right now at $102 almost, and 118. What is the difference? $16. So what Nvidia has to do to make traders money on $118 calls is, well, we have to cover that range, right? So here we have, well, $16 difference, right? 7 times 2 is 14, and then we have to go like 3 days, $7 positive range. Is that a likelihood? Well, as I showed you, on the structure is not in that direction, right? We are still in the bearish structure, right? And unless we're not even getting above 106, forget anything upside play, right? Like, and are we seeing possibilities of that as well, right? 106, no. On hourly interval, if I show you, we are below our cloud as well. That is a negative sentiment, which means we are in the bearish sentiment. We are still forming what? Lower highs, lower lows. And guys, if you need access to my tools, links are in the description below. We still have lower highs, lower lows, right? So Nvidia first has to change the structure, right? That is getting above this $106 zone, get above the cloud zone as well, and then starts to try to make its way up again above this 108, and 9 also is another resistance structure sitting. But then, as if we continue to go higher, there is $115 structural resistance sitting that is untested, right? So $118 calls, in my opinion, is likelihood is 0% of happening. Yes, I get it. Like, oh, junior trader, can't you see so many traders are betting their money? Do you even know what you're talking about? Well, you can go and do whatever you want to do, but in my opinion, this week, $118 calls. Sure, if I want to give it a percent, let's say not 0% because nothing is guaranteed in stock market, I'll give it 1 or 2%. All right. Again, just my opinion, but I don't think $118 calls going to happen. Well, Nvidia has to really flip. Like, okay, if there is something that I don't know, right, the hidden news, and these traders know, or these big hedge funds, maybe big hedge funds have placed these orders. Well, then by Monday and Tuesday, we need to get above 109 on a good green buying back volume. If something like that happens, sure, probability will increase. But right now, am I seeing that probability? No. So right now, my likelihood of 118 is minuscule. But if something that I don't know, that other big hedge funds know, price action will tell that eventually by Monday and Tuesday. But it will has to be by then we need to break these levels. Otherwise, nothing Nvidia in 3 days can do to change the structure to get to 118. That's unlikely because these calls and puts are expiration for the end of the next week, right? So okay, 118 in my opinion is just not fruitful to trade, and anything above that, guys, that means it's just nothing, right? It's just no point. Now, what to the downside? Well, $100, yeah, well, technically it has highest likelihood because we are very close. That's the puts, right? And what about the $90? That's again teetering just at the edge again, $90, because we have a 200 days moving average support coming, and it's also below $97, which has been our very significant support level in the past. Also, it has found that support, and then we also have that 200 days moving average coming up. So $90, no. So yeah, $100 puts, that's the only one that I'm seeing where the spike is that may make good money. Now, what if, again, these are just the way the options are traders are betting their money. It just doesn't mean that you can't trade other options. So is there better likelihood of trading other options? Yes, so let's talk about that, which means what's the range that I expect that Nvidia may do, right? So let me get rid of these lines here, guys. And anything below 200 days moving average, unless I don't see a break below that, it's just not worth getting ahead and trying to get into it. There's no point. So as for the safest range, in my opinion, I want to go to the hourly interval. And this is the guys, the scenarios. We'll have to, like, for the upside, we'll still have to change the structure level by level. That will add the probability, like 106 and 109. But I'm just saying that what is the possible max range, right? It doesn't mean that if I say, well, guys, which I'm gonna say like 115 is the top line range, but that doesn't mean the price is going to go there. What I mean is that if we start to break these levels in the best positive sentiment, 115 would still be the max, in my opinion, for this week, only after we receive this bullish confirmation. So yes, the top line range, in my opinion, is 115 as the top the range that Nvidia may do if the price action starts confirming. Otherwise, no. And then to the downside, I will give it 97. I know there's not much I'm saying that downside, 97 and a little bit maybe 200 days moving average, but I don't think more than that this week. So there may be possibility of either a choppiness or a rebound, but not more than that. So this is the safest range, in my opinion, would be this week based on the price action. Again, like we technically we're in the downtrend, so upside will only be when the levels are confirmed to the upside. Otherwise, no, it's just downside game. But you can see the range to the downside is not that much, right? I mean, I'm gonna even go a little bit higher here. Yeah, let's just put it like here, 94 almost, right? This is the safest range, in my opinion, that Nvidia may do. Again, we are still technically to the downside, but downside may be now a little bit limited because we have made the move, and we are getting at again those structural support areas where we may start to a little bit at least rebound, and we'll see if that a strong rebound or a weak rebound. If it's a weak rebound, then that will turn again into some choppiness, and then we'll finally start breaking things. So, but that's something you are watching. All right, this week. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.